Sheila from Hackathons International, and today we have the Winners Spotlight interview for Hack.Slash 4.0. So this was a 30-hour hackathon completely managed by students at Sardar Vallabhbhai National Institute of Technology in Surat, India. And it was a great opportunity for students, for them to use their skills to produce something new and useful for society. So this hackathon was held on the 30th to the 31st of January in 2021. And after getting 850 registrations from all around the nation, they shortlisted the top 113 students to form 40 teams. They were given 7 design problem statements to choose from, and most of them selected ones which were around online cheat detection and prevention, post-COVID tourism, rural health development, and also tackling climate crisis. There were a lot of mentors from different domains to help them guide them through the process over the 30-hour duration. And the highlight was to have all these experienced judges mark all these teams. So today we have Shankanil from the winning team who will give us an overview of their experience. And they created a solution for students who have to attend online classes but were not able to hear what the lecturers were saying. So their solution was a piece of software that records the audio and converts the audio into text. After this, we'll watch their winning presentation. So over to you, Shankanil.
Hello, I'm Shankanil. I'm from India, and I'm a sophomore at National Institute of Technology, Surat. I'm currently pursuing electronics and communication engineering with minor in computer science. I and my teammates, Gaurav and Anshu, we were from the same branch in our college. So we share a good friendship, and since our technical interests align quite well with each other, we decided to team up and participate in hackathons. Participating in .Slash was a great experience. For the first time, it was held online, and the event was conducted without any hassles. There were also many fun activities too to keep us refreshed and active at all times. The problem statement that we selected was education for the differently abled. Presently, due to COVID-19, almost all educational institutions are functioning online. So it inspired us to come up with a solution to help solve the problems the differently abled face during online education. We did a lot of research. We read blogs, articles, and held many team discussions before actually starting to write code. My one-piece advice would be to choose one's teammates wisely, keeping in mind how well the technical skills of each team member align with each other. This will help to carry out the work smoothly and maintain coordination among the members. We intend to take forward our project that we built in .Slash. Furthermore, we intend to take part in more hackathons and upskill ourselves.
Amazing. Let's watch the presentation now.
Sure. So good evening, everyone. I'm Shankanil from Team Crewmates, and our project is to solve the problem statement education for differently abled people. Firstly, I would like to present my screen for the project. Is my screen visible? Gaurav, you can just confirm.
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, something that's visible.
Yeah, sure. So basically, our project is, as I said, it is education for differently abled, where we have tried to to make education a bit easier for the differently abled people, and as we know that 15% of the world's citizens are people with disabilities, and they too are a part of our society, and we cannot neglect them. Education is also their right, so we must ensure ways so that they, along with their limitations, can gain good and proper education. These people, they face a lot of challenges during their life. Education is one of the prime challenges they face, and what we have tried is we have uh, used technology to somehow reduce the challenges that they face while trying to gain the education. We have primarily focused on online education because presently, as we know, due to COVID-19, most of the things are happening online, and probably the healthcare centers or centers which were taking care of such students or people might not be open presently. So they too have to attend classes, or like their entire uh, education system might be online for them as well. And as we know that disability can be in different forms. Students can have children can have different kinds of disabilities, from physical to mental, and it will definitely be a challenge in gaining online education for them. So firstly, let me introduce our project, that is EduHelp. And what is does is that uh, for online classes, if there is a student uh, who cannot hear, then definitely if he attends online lectures, he will not be able to hear the content that his teacher is saying. So in that case, what we can do is that our software records the system audio that is being generated from the computer, and then after it extracts the audio. We have used a summarizer that converts the audio into text, and it can be read by the person who cannot hear. So we are solving one challenge. And another thing that we have implemented is that we have done text to braille conversion. So definitely people who cannot see, then the text can be converted to braille, and that braille can be fed into devices like refreshable braille display machines. So in that case, they can see the content that their teacher had like shown, or things like that, or they can even view the text file in braille. So let me give a short demo of our project. So let me run it once. So in this, we give a lot of options. This is the start recording button. Once we click it, a user can select a specific area of the screen that he or she wants to record. Preferably, we would say that if it's a presentation screen in Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, we would like he or she can adjust the screen accordingly and set it as a recording area. And now it has started recording. So and after we stop the recording, whatever the PPT or notes that teacher was showing, it will automatically, our software will capture the unique screenshots and will save it in a doc file, which can be converted to PDF later on. And we have also saved audio content and the video recording as well of the meeting. So this was like I showed how to operate this our project. Right now, I will be presenting a slide which my friend Gaurav will record and show you the results. So I'll be stopping the presentation, and Gaurav, you can share your screen. Oh, sorry, I'll be sharing a PPT. Gaurav, you can start your recording from your end.
Oh, yes, sure. Yeah, we are ready to begin. Yes, Shankar.
Okay, sure. So like I'll just go through the project again, the challenges that we have tried to solve. This is the first challenge that we tried to solve, that people who are deaf, they cannot take the advantage of the good quality educational videos that are available online. So what we have done is our software can capture the audio that is coming out from the computer. So definitely that audio file can be converted to text format, and it can be read by people who are deaf, and definitely it will help them. The next challenge that we have tried to solve is that amputed children, it is not possible for them to take down notes during online classes. I myself, I am a student. I find it really very difficult during my online classes to take down notes because the slide suddenly changes, and sometimes teachers write on the slide, and like a lot of screenshots I have to take in order to capture that content. It is a very difficult task, and like it's not possible for a student. Yeah, so this was a second challenge, and the third challenge is we have converted text to braille, and the braille can be displayed. And this is the fourth challenge. We have implemented a game, a tic-tac-toe game that one can play with their eye movements. So I think I can stop, and Gaurav, you can show the results, I guess.
Sure. Just a minute. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so I was saving the file, and it has been saved as c.docs over here. So this was the screenshots which it took, and there are some repetitions because it is a bit inconsistent sometimes, but still we have tried to avoid multiple screenshots as much as possible. And apart from this, it has also stored the Braille format of the summary, I think. So it also stores the Braille format of the summary, which was as Shanknil was saying. And apart from it, we have also saved the summary .txt file, which is the output from that. Okay, the summary part is a bit inconsistent over here, as you can see, because we have tried using a simple NLP model, but I think that could be improved if we would have used abstractive model, but due to some time constraints, we were not able to. And apart from this, it also saves an audio output file as an audio as well as a video. So like you can just go back to it and try seeing it again if you want.
Okay, Gaurav, sorry to interrupt. Time is up.
If you just give us like 1 more minute, I'll be happy to share the game that we made with our eye movement. It would just take a minute if it's comfortable with you.
Okay, just take a minute, right? Not more than that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Shanknil, directly play the recorded video.
Yeah.
So camera is engaged here.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the simple tic-tac-toe game that we designed, and with our eye movements we can control the cursor, and when we blink for a particular duration, maybe 2 to 3 seconds on a particular box, it will record the input. Such kind of interactive games are helpful for people who cannot go out and play physical demanding games. So definitely for people with those kind of disability problems, it will help them and improve their physical and mental health. So this was the project.
And we can further improve this and make the whole desktop accessible with this feature.
Okay, so your time's up. Judges, you can cross question.
Guys, what is the tech stack you're using?
So we currently used Kinter for GUI part, and apart from that, we have also used OpenCV for streaming in that tic-tac-toe, and the rest all things are made in Python. We are using PyAudio for storing the audio files, and we have used Google Speech API for converting speech to text, and NLTK libraries have been used while we were calculating the cosine similarity between two sentences and ranking them for summarization.
And also for the detection of our eyes movement, we have used DLAB.
Okay.
Like we wanted to improve the desktop app, but like we didn't know how to make a desktop app with Electron.js. So like we had to like a bit compromise with Inter over there.
And didn't you guys tried anything on converting it into a sign language?
So actually, we thought of converting it back to the sign language, but we got the problem statements yesterday at night, and like we needed to collect the data set and all those things for that. We were like we listed down few things during ideation in the beginning, but like
sign language was also one of them. But yeah, because of trading and collecting the data part, we thought that it would hamper our other features that we thought. So we thought of going like letting it go and like implementing the other features.
Yeah, we did research on it.
And how precise will be this eye movement capture? If I'm reading, say, a text, instead of tic-tac-toe, now let's take a finer example, right? I'm reading a large paragraph, right? And you have seen how medium.com says that 3-4 minutes read, right? And if I'm halfway done, will it read? We can go up to those detailing, like that the article is halfway left. I'm not talking about particularly disabled case here, but generally tracking the eye movement on reading a text.
For that, a bit of calibration needs to be done. Like, yeah, Anshu.
Actually, it's using OpenCV, so environment condition also affects the tracking of eyes. So basically, you can it can track your eye movements, and if like you are saying, if halfway you are done, we can implement that. If your eye levels are particularly low than a particular level, then you should scroll up and you can again continue seeing your paragraph. It can be implemented like that.
Correct. Because each time when you read a book on Kindle, right, you have to still tap.
Yeah,
it can be done. It is detecting when you are closing your eyes, and for our camera, looking down is same as closing your eyes, because when we are looking down, it's detecting that we are closing our eyes only. So we can code something like that also. If person closes his eyes, then it's time to scroll up the paragraph.
Got it.
I have a question. So I really like the product, of course. I've seen this already. I think it's great. I think you're trying to do too many things at once. Like, I think I'm curious about what is your end goal with this? Is it to help people study with the summarization and TTS, or is it to help people play with the tic-tac-toe? Like, because you're doing a lot of things, I'm kind of confused about what your goal is and how do you solve that problem with one thing.
Sir, actually, the goal is about the education itself. Okay, we tried to implement the game part just so that we wanted to check like how efficiently one can calibrate it so that it can help them like navigating through the desktop without like touching the touchpad or something, because someone who is amputated can't has to like it is difficult for him to navigate through the desktop. So like our main goal was education part. It was like to make it easier to attend online classes, webinars, or some or even some online courses which we take from, or watch a YouTube video or some anything for them. And we added that part just to like create like we wanted to make it easier for them to navigate, and we were not sure that both of the features can be put together or not. So that was like the main crux of our idea.
Yeah, basically this game was example for that we can implement this tech in anywhere. Means using our eyes and moving the pointer of the mouse. We can use it anywhere, and if a physically able person is there, then he can use this tech to and navigate along anywhere in his desktop, because he can click also in this feature.
And I agree that there's a lot of things going on in this app at the moment, but like we can make it user specific, or as they want. Like we can make a dashboard specially for the user if we had an app for that. Like if we go for an Electron app or something, making that desktop app, so there we can add a dashboard where they will particularly get what they want, like only that what they want. So supposingly I don't need a braille, so I won't ask for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, guys, we need